morning or good evening, wherever you guys are at. This is Chris Kendall from The Raw Advantage coming at you with another interview for the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle Instagram Live Extravaganza promotion for the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle, right? So we're interviewing another amazing chef from the bundle, Jade Turnquist. She has a great book in there, Dehydrated Delights. And we're going to go into comfort foods, raw vegan comfort foods. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think this is a really neat topic. And just so you guys know, you can grab the bundle in my link or in Jade's link at any time, or, hopefully when you're done listening and you've listened to the whole thing, because it's going to be, completely captivating the entire time, no matter what. And you can grab the bundle and also see the whole live schedule by going up to the top right of the homepage of the website. And there's a link for the lives, and you can check it out. And there's lives throughout this entire week, and those are all 100% free. And while you're there, you might as well check out the entire bundle, all the amazing things that are in it. 36 books, courses, meal plans, my meal plans in there, Jade's books in there, so much more for like 98% off. So just $49, no joke. So let's see if Jade is in the house here. There we go. So we'll invite her on right now. Thanks, guys. Hey, everyone. Hope you're doing good. Feel free to ask any questions, and we'll get to them kind of at the end as we're a little bit out of the flow, or if, there's a lull. Hey, Jade, what's going on?
Hi, how are you? Yes.
Doing great.
Yeah,
Good to
I'm
see
just
you.
I'm gonna move my phone a little bit. Okay, yes, I'm in the view. Okay.
You're in the perfect square. It's funny sometimes, like when I start, it's like all long, and then all of a sudden when we jump into two, it splits me down, and I'm like all squished in this little teeny box. I'm like, yeah, get me out of here.
I know, which I'm more than happy to be in the teeny weeny box, but I've got my phone attached to the charger because I've got Chef AJ's thing in the morning, and I've been using my phone to prep and make sure I've got all the ingredients, and then I'm like, oh my God, my phone's flat and I'm about to go live. So.
Oh no. What time is Chef AJ's?
Well, for me, it'll be 5 a.m. For her, it'll be 3 p.m. So I've got my alarm set for 3:30 in the morning.
Bless you for that flexibility. Wow. That I thought I had it bad once. One time on her show, I think I had it at like 1 a.m., which wasn't so tough,
What do you do? If you want to go on Chef AJ's channel, you've got to be flexible. So
Absolutely, yeah. It's a blessing to be on there. She's amazing. And
yeah.
So how are you doing? You're back in, correct me if I'm wrong, Vietnam?
Yes, I got back Friday. I'm feeling really good that I'm back here. I got my little dog back, and I'm staying on the beach, which is lovely. Well, when I say staying on the beach, I'm not literally staying on the beach, but I've got an apartment on the beachfront, and yeah, it's nice, and life's quite good here, so it's good.
So you're not a hobo on the beach, just with like a hat over your face?
Oh, don't worry, after the last 12 months, it could be a possibility. I'm short on cash, so yeah, it could be on the cards, definitely.
Yeah. It could be worse, but it sounds like you're in a good spot, and I'm happy to hear that you're back, and family and really good quality tropical fruits. And we got a little snooter that just wants to say hello real quick.
Oh, hello.
She's
hello,
purring already.
Dad.
She's such a good one. But just for those who maybe don't know you, just in case, do you want to give a little bit of an introduction into what got you into healthy living, raw foods, and where you are now?
Well, what got me into healthy living, I guess my journey started, well, I'm 44 now. My journey probably started like really thinking about my health. Well, not really. I mean, I actually went completely downhill health-wise, but at age 29, I chose sobriety, and that was a huge thing. Yeah. I was a big drinker, big drug taker.
Woo.
Well, more.
Yeah, oh my. At least it wasn't none of this one.
No.
Yeah.
But I like to stay awake so I could party longer.
Yeah.
So I was a big party girl, and I remember I'd been up for about 4 days. Like, It was a big bender. Yeah. And I remember I was at friends' places, and as you do, you just sort of sitting around grunging, and, like most of us had been up, and, people coming in and out of the house and whatever. Yeah. And I'd looked at my skin, and it was like yellow, and it was jaundice, and I'm like, what have you done to your life? Like, seriously. And I just, that day, which is really strange because it wasn't my first time, like I'd had these benders and things like that before. And I mean, when I had benders, I had long benders. They were always like this. And I guess I describe myself as a bingeaholic. I was fine if I wasn't having anything, but once I started partying, that was it. Off she went, you know, like an Energizer bunny.
Yeah, geez, yeah, you had some longevity. That's some endurance.
Yeah, exactly. But I just remember that day just thinking, you know what, my life's so crap, looking around at like the people I was with and that, I'm just like, I've got to do something. I've got to change my life. So that was the start of it, wanting to choose sobriety. And from there, you know, I formed a food addictions and things like that heavily because as you do as an addict, you replace when you're going through withdrawals and things like that, all of a sudden you want sugar and junk food and things like that, you know, because you're trying to numb yourself. I had drugs and alcohol before to numb myself, so I was trying to numb myself. And then it's just been a progression of a million courses, a million seminars, a million everything. I call myself a professional certificate gatherer, just trying to fix myself. It's always been trying to fix myself and, you know, deal with past trauma, like through my childhood and things like that. So it's just been a big thing. And health has just been like the cornerstone, really, of keeping me sober. So that's just been like a huge thing for me. And if anything sort of ever looks like it's threatening my sobriety, and because that's the most important thing to me over anything, because that would destroy my life like that, I make amends sort of thing straight away as to what I need to do to sort of fix myself up, so to speak.
Wow, yeah, I can relate to some extent, although I never really went more than one day. But it's because I was always afraid of that I would like the sniffing too much, you know, because I have a very addictive personality. I was offered it and I was like, oh gosh, I know if I go down that route, I'm going to empty my bank account and I'm going to do that nonstop.
Yeah, it's very easy to do. It's very easy. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I guess that's a bit about myself. And then slowly but surely, you know, I got into health, but not I wasn't even vegan then, but I got into health, I got into fitness. I became a fitness instructor and a PT. I started learning more about health and nutrition. I then started following the Hallelujah Diet by George Malcolmus. I found Raw Till 4, Harley and Freely. I was very, very dedicated. I was a real loyal follower of Harley, actually. And he was magical when he was a raw vegan. He was just really so inspiring. He was very inspiring for me and a big part of my journey. And I mean, I'm still friends with Harley to this day.
Me too.
But so he was a big part of my journey. And then so I started the Raw Till 4 when they were doing the Raw Till 4. I found Dr. Douglas Graham, started doing the 80-10-10. So it's just been a progressive thing.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. So what are some of the biggest shifts you found in applying those principles, Raw Till 4 and 80-10-10 into your life? And, you know, coming from, this is going to be a bit of a two-pronged question. Coming from a place where, you know, you felt like you really needed to use things to suppress or to numb, how long did it take to feel like that was starting to kind of fade and you felt like you're in a good, stable state?
Years. A long time. I mean, it's not, people think you can deal with past trauma overnight, but it's a big journey. And it wasn't until I actually became a counsellor, and as part of my training, I had to be counselled, and I started learning about letting go of resentments, past hurts and things like that, and just letting it out. So, and it wasn't so much forgiving for them, it was forgiving for me. And that was a really freeing thing. Living in Southeast Asia for the last 5 years, I think has just been a huge thing, because you really see life when you're living in developing countries, and you see the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. And that's been a huge thing in healing as well. Working with children where you receive unconditional love always. So that's been a huge thing. But the shift, you know, big things that have changed for me, I guess, through health and nutrition, especially with fruit. Fruit's just, if you want to heal your life and your body, fruit's everything. My skin was, I had really bad cystic acne, and I haven't worn makeup now in probably 7 or 8 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, except a little bit of lipstick and mascara. Someone always pulls me up when I say that. And I so often get comments, you say you didn't wear makeup, I can see a bit of lipstick. Yeah, I do. I wear a bit of lipstick and a bit of mascara. But other than that, I don't wear makeup. I never wear it. And that's massive, because since I was 13, I used to cake makeup on my face. Like when I say cake, like the foundations and things like that. I never put anything like that on my skin. I don't use any cleansers or anything like that on my skin. So that for me is huge. I walk around and I'm proud of my skin. Like, I mean, when I say I'm proud, I don't have to feel embarrassed because I've got acne and things like that. So that is huge. Weight loss, because I was actually very slim when I became a vegan. I was tiny when I came in, and then I started eating a lot of junk, and I put on weight. Because, you know, you have the attitude it's okay, it's vegan. And
you want to party. You want to have, you just got into vegan, you're like, I want a vegan party.
Well, I honestly, I don't know why I thought this, because I have been coaching people in weight loss for years. And then all of a sudden I became a vegan, and I'm like, oh, I can eat anything I want because it's vegan. And all of a sudden the weight's just like packing on me. I'm like, what happened there? So, yeah.
Sometimes we've got to learn a few times, right? And sometimes we know, but we don't apply.
Oh, especially me, seriously. Definitely weight loss. I mean, if you want to lose weight, eat fruit and greens. Definitely nothing will release your weight.
It's such a lie when people say, like, oh, like, you can't eat too much fruit, you'll gain weight. Fruit, like, it's just, I've never seen anyone, like, I mean, no, I can't say that. I have seen someone gain weight off fruit, and I've done it, but it really took, like, forcing food, like not even enjoying it, but just forcing past enjoyment every meal.
Yeah, you have to be eating a lot of fruit, or and I know this for a fact from my own personal experience. You say, oh, I must have got fat from the fruit, but seriously, you're not telling the truth. You're not telling the truth. There's always something else coming into your diet. There might be excess fat. There might be a few sneaky raw vegan burgers and things like that coming in, because if you're just eating fruit and greens, and I'm not talking about anything else, like I'm not talking about your gourmet foods and your comfort foods, because yes, you can gain weight if you're eating too much of them. But if you're just eating that, you're going to release your weight. And
I tell you though, honestly, Jade, because I know someone else too, Andrew Perlot, he like really specifically did a study on himself for a couple months overeating fruit. But for myself too, what happened was I really hurt myself skateboarding. And I continued to eat the exact same amount of food. Like, this was like 8 years ago. So I was eating like 2-liter banana smoothies every single day, but I probably only needed a liter because I was, you know, but I was depressed and I was just forcing it down. So I was getting in way too many calories, and I did gain weight, but like I said, like you got to force it. Like 99 percentile, I see people, you know, lose weight effortlessly with fruit.
And in saying that, if you're not blending it, if you're eating it in
just eating it whole,
because when you're blending it, you can down too much. You certainly can, and I've done it too, especially with stuffing too many dates and getting right into the
dates are a big one.
Yeah, they are, because they're so easy. But if you're eating, I should actually let the audience know, if you're eating high water fruit and you're eating it as a whole, you're not blending it and making all these shakes and things like that, because that's how you will chug down too many calories. But eating whole fruits and salad, definitely, because your body will tell you you're full.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then the inverse is kind of a helpful tip too, is like, if you're having a hard time keeping your weight and you always feel like you're losing weight, then that's where the blended stuff or adding some other dates or stuff like that can help. So it's like,
I've never had that problem.
no, that's a lot of people who I coach. Most people I coach, they're looking to try and put on more weight.
Yeah, well, especially males. I mean, no male wants to be walking around like that, but females do. We want that. So
yeah. It's always that fine balance, eh? It's always that fine balance.
Absolutely.
But it's such a blessing to be able to live in a way where you're not feeling like you need to restrict or like you need to force. And actually, when you find that balance, that's when all of a sudden you're kind of in the Goldilocks zone, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure, definitely.
So how does this bring you into raw vegan comfort foods? Because I know your book, Dehydrated Delights, is really jam-packed full of lots of amazing recipes. And I mean, I think that all of us are looking for comfort, whether that's in food or that's in life. And it's nice to have comfort foods that are actually healthful. Because I think most people, when they think comfort foods, they're thinking those soul foods that probably you wouldn't want to eat all the time.
Especially in America, my God, you guys with your soul food, like, especially when I was down in the South, I mean, wow, you like the mac and cheese and the buffalo wings and wow, and the portions are like this big and oh my God, it was insane. Not that I was eating that food, but I'm just saying, man, my wonder you're a big country.
Yeah, it's true. I tell you, I mean, when you can find like deep fried battered chocolate bars and you can, people are talking about the 1 meal a day diet because the 1 meal a day is like 2 days worth of calories. It's
so true. I've never seen anything like it in my life. And then if in the restaurants, like they just keep topping your sodas up, and I'm thinking, my God, I wonder if everyone's just so big over there. Not that Australia's small. We've got big weight problems in Australia too. That's for sure.
Yeah, all around the world.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even now in developing countries. But anyway, so comfort foods. Look, why comfort foods are awesome, especially for raw vegans or people transitioning to raw veganism or people wanting to eat raw till 4, whatever. Comfort foods will help you because we all want to eat meals. We're so programmed. I mean, our whole life we've been eating meals every night when we've come home from dinner, from work, school or work or whatever. We've had a meal. We've sat down to what we call a proper meal. Yeah. And all of a sudden, when you become a raw vegan, especially if you're very new to this lifestyle, if you all of a sudden have this big salad in front of you, after a couple of days, people get depressed. And it's true. New people just say, man, if I ate another big salad, I'm going to slip my wrist and that's going to be the end of me, because people can't cope with that. And so being able to eat dehydrated foods, comfort foods, they don't all have to be dehydrated. Matt Bennett, he made a lasagna, and that looked good. That looked amazing, and you don't have to dehydrate that. So, but it's still the whole comfort food thing. Like in your head, you go, I'm having a lasagna, and you can feel a part of it, and you get excited by that. So that's really great. But I've always told people, like when they're transitioning to a raw vegan life, if you want to eat dehydrated foods every night, you can. Always remember, though, they're not hydrating foods. So if you are having dehydrated foods every day, make sure you're having water with it and make sure you're having a salad and things like that, because dehydrated foods are like a sponge in your body and they will suck into, your hydration.
It's like an internal diaper, right? It's like an internal diaper.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, 2 or 3 times a week, having dehydrated food, if that's what you like. I mean, have it every night if you choose to, but 2 or 3 times a week, it can give you that feeling of, you know what, I can do this. I can actually do this. And that's something I've missed heavily when I've been traveling, is a dehydrator, because I openly admit that I like still, after all these years, having proper meals. So for me, that's a big thing when I don't have a dehydrator. I like to be able to have a burger or a raw vegan pizza or whatever it is. Yeah, because it's fun.
Yeah, it's nostalgic, it's dense, it's concentrated flavors, and
Absolutely, and it keeps you on track. It does keep you on track. And the other thing is too, like, and I have literally done this before, like I've hosted people who are not interested in eating anything raw vegan whatsoever, and I've made enough for other people, and they said, yeah, it's it's okay. Like, some people aren't going to get excited over raw food, and that's okay. But I have made what I'm making for them. So let's say I was making pizzas for everyone. Then I've made a raw vegan pizza, and I don't then feel like I'm left out. Because that's a big thing for people too. I don't want to feel left out when the rest of the family is eating this or whatever. And I understand that. It's a big thing because food is such a big part of our culture, and we do want to share food with the people we love, and we want to be a part of things. No one wants to sit there with a bowl of salad while everyone else is sitting there gourmetizing on something else, even though they're not going to feel great after. It's still mentally how it affects you. You're like, but if you can make these kind of comfort foods, you sit there and you feel okay. And, the great thing is you don't feel like crap afterwards. Like everyone else is going, and you're like,
True.
I'm still here. I'm still feeling great. I'm alive. So, that's the other great thing about it too. But I also think comfort foods are great. If you're short-term traveling, dehydrated foods, if you're only going for like 2 or 3 days, you can pack things in like bags and take them with you.
Yeah, so absolutely.
They're a good thing too. So yeah, I am such a fan of people really experimenting with comfort foods if they're interested in this lifestyle, because I think it's a really great way to really start to realize that you don't have to just eat salad. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome to eating just salad and fruit. I mean, you are going to feel your most optimal on that.
Yeah.
But, not everyone's going to do that all the time. Now, someone's asked a question here. Guys, what you think of eating dehydrated food once a day? I usually have fruits during the day and zoodles of salad and dehydrated filet. Look, that's fine. That's what we were saying before. Like, if you want to have it with a salad and that keeps you on track and keeps you raw, I think that's really cool.
And it's so cool too, especially with things like falafels and burgers. Like, I've been known to make like a huge batch, let's say of like 60 falafel balls, and then have 6 at a time. But the rest I put in the freezer, because you take them out of the freezer, you pop them in the dehydrator for 1 hour, and they're ready, and then you have it all week. And just like you said too, it's very different. Having like a few dehydrated items or even partially dehydrated items with your whole kind of water-rich meal, as opposed to if you just had a meal of flax crackers. Like obviously if every night you just had like tons and tons of flax crackers nonstop, you're gonna feel pretty dehydrated and you'll probably notice it. But if it's just a flax cracker sandwich, or you have a couple flax crackers with your stew or your soup, or like they said, the falafels, I think that's great then. Hey, Chef Ian.
I think it's too high, Chef Ian. I think it's amazing if you're having that every night, and if it's keeping you on track, do what's keeping you on track, and that's more important than anything else. I think with the raw vegan lifestyle, people can overanalyze it too much, and especially when you get into raw vegan forums and things like that. And I know, because I've been running them for many years, there's a lot of dogma, and people can make you feel bad if you're eating this way or you're doing this and whatever. If you not doing headstands while you're eating your fruit, you're doing it wrong, and whatever, all the different things that people say and do. At the end of the day, it's your health journey.
Exactly.
And if it's making you feel good, then do it. Don't worry about what someone else is saying. Like, you have to work things out for yourself. Always ask advice and take advice from people, but you don't have to take everything as gospel either.
No, it's your dance, right? And the dance isn't in a straight line. It's always going to zigzag and meander to the left, meander to the right. And what I often say is, if what you're doing is working for you right now, enjoy it until you don't, and then change it up. But if you're still enjoying it, don't let anyone else's thoughts get in the way.
Never, ever. That's it. That's health is just ever evolving, and where you think you're gonna be may not always be where you'll be at at another time. And that's just the way life is. It's very seasonal.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think, and this is something I'd love to put forth there. And I've said it often, I'll be a broken record for the rest of my life, but I think a lot of people think like perfect diet and I got to be perfect with all these things. And people often say like perfection, it's unattainable and this and that. And, like it just causes stress. I have a full different view on it. To me, perfection is a process, like a child is perfect, an animal is perfect, like nature is perfect, but it's always changing, it's always evolving to new stimuli and to new things. And I see diet as that too. It's like where you are is perfect for right now. Just be aware, listen to what you're doing, be present, and you'll learn and grow, and that will change, and it's all perfect, right? But because to me that lets a lot of pressure off, and it allows you to be as you are. As long as you're being aware, you're going to continue to grow.
I love that. See, this is why you're one of the greatest leaders in the raw vegan movement, because that's just what people need to hear. Like, it really is. And I think it needs to be shared, that message. You need to write that up.
Yeah, I did make a whole video of it. It's funny, I made a whole video about perfection, and I thought that people were either going to like slam it and say it was garbage or something, but it just kind of went into obscurity a little bit. But I'll share it again.
Yeah, and even if you just cut that little bit out then and just put that on a little reel, because I love that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Jade. I really appreciate that. So what are some of your absolute favorite comfort foods? Because, I think, when people step into a raw food diet, I used to say that you just need 5 recipes that you love, but now I'd probably almost say like, it's good to have 5 simple recipes and maybe 5 comfort food recipes, for every occasion. But what would you say are some of your favorite comfort food recipes?
My number one, no matter what, it's like a fallback. I love raw vegan nachos because that's something I can make with or without a dehydrator. And I just love walnut meat. I do. I love
so good.
Meat. Yeah, it is just so delicious. And yeah, that's probably my ultimate favorite. And I love having it with like a raw vegan sour cream or something like that.
You're talking my language.
Yeah. So I would have to say that's ultimately my favorite.
Yeah.
I do love raw vegan pizzas. My dream goal one day is to have you make me a raw vegan pizza.
Let's make that happen. Let's make that happen.
Yeah, I would love that because they just look so good. But I love making, I still love my own raw vegan pizzas. I just think yours just look like Domino's pizzas, but they're healthy.
Yeah, I try my best to do that.
Yeah,
I have one in my meal plan. I have my smoky barbecue pizza in my meal plan as the last meal of the 21-day raw vegan meal plan.
Just to leave them saying, you know what, I'm going to keep coming back for more.
Exactly. It's like, oh, you can do this and still enjoy everything you want. And I think that's such an important thing, kind of like you said too. It's like, if you have that every once in a while, you start to gain the contrast and when it fits you best, right? And it's like, what I've always found was if I ate a raw vegan fancier meal or I went to a raw vegan restaurant, I enjoyed the heck out of it. The raw vegan restaurants are a little different because they're kind of high fat and they can hit you a lot harder. But those ones especially, they always drove me back to more simplicity. Whereas when I eat like a simpler comfort food within the low fat raw food thing, I could have it, 4 or 5 times a week and feel amazing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a completely different feeling, but we still like that comfort food.
Absolutely.
It's really good. And I love wraps. I love wraps. And Olivia Herzog has got an amazing book with all the filling stuffers of the wraps.
Yeah.
And like some of those wraps, the way she's made those wraps. Like,
she's the wrap queen.
She is. They are the best wraps I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any wraps, and I've seen plenty of wraps come through my news feed over the years. I honestly believe she is the wrap queen.
Yeah.
And her book's in the bundle as well.
Yeah.
And she's got some amazing things. But I love a wrap. I think a wrap is so versatile, and for me, I feel good having it because I stuff it with so much salad.
Yeah. It's a giant salad.
Yeah. Exactly, but you don't think you're having a salad. It's really tricky.
It's just about tricking yourself.
It is, and it's just like that whole mind thing. And yeah, I get really excited by a wrap. That is something that just blows my mind, having a wrap. So that'd be another thing. I do love my falafels that I have in my Dehydrated Delights book.
Yeah.
They were delicious, and I love the sauce I made with that. That was a cross between a tzatziki and a beetroot sauce. And it was actually a freak of nature I made it that day, because I'd made the falafels and I had some tzatziki sitting in my fridge from the night before. And I thought, oh, I don't want to put the white sauce on it. I want to get a good photo. You know how you start thinking about, you know, the aesthetic side. And I'm thinking, I want something good for Instagram. And that was
Dang, Instagram. Oh, sorry, guys.
And I mixed it in with the beetroot, and my God, it tasted really good. And the photo was so pretty. And I was just like, oh, I'm really excited by that. So yeah, I really like them. I mean, I like the best comfort food, I must say though, and I'm going to be honest, is something anybody will make for me.
Yeah, no, it's true. You know, I mean, as a chef, it's like when you get served something, it's like, thank you.
I know. That's, you know, nothing beats it, because I make all my own food. I don't have anyone make my food, but when you know, someone else makes something, it's just so exciting. It really is. Nothing beats it.
No, it's funny because so often I'm told, you know, like, oh, I wish you're like, I could be a raw foodist if I had you as my chef, and I'm like, I kind of wish I had me as my chef too. You know, like I kind of want an extra one.
I know people don't realize it's like, yeah, I do. I make food, but sometimes it's like, oh heck, I'm not ready to make food again.
And then that's why a lot of the time I'm just like, yeah, you know, nice green smoothie or just like something simple, you know.
I love green smoothies, no matter what. Daily green smoothie, they are just like my go-to every day. My breakfast green smoothie, because they are the easiest things to make. I mean,
they are.
You have to have those fallback foods.
It's pretty dang tough to beat a green smoothie, just in terms of like when you combine like ease and satisfaction and, you know, like nutrient density, calorie density, right? It's just like it's such a good staple to have, and then gives you that freedom to, you know, like have anything you want around it too, right? It's like so good.
Raw Chef Yin, who is like the queen of making food. She wants someone to be her private chef. Her raw pies look absolutely amazing.
God. Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this about her pies. Now, I was looking into doing a raw vegan cake course, and you know, lots of people sell them online, and one course that I looked into was about $1,300, $1,300, and I'm like, man, I can't afford that. Oh well, I'm not going to learn how to make those cakes, you know. So that was it. Now, Raw Chef Yin has put her pies into the raw vegan bundle, and I kid you not, they look like they should be on the front cover of Marie Claire, and they look like they're just in a pie shop, and I'm talking delicious sweet pies. You can get the whole bundle for $49. Now, as I said, the cake course I saw was $1,300. So even if you just bought it for Raw Chef Yin's course, it's a course too, not an ebook. You can learn exactly how to make it. If you just bought it for that, it's worth it just for that.
And I bet you too that you'd feel a heck of a lot better eating her raw tarts and pies than you would the cakes in the $1,300 course. And not to throw shade at anything, because I don't know that course, but most of the time the fancy raw cuisine is like super, super high fat, lots of nuts.
And that it was super high fat. But I've always wanted to learn how to make those pretty looking cakes. And I thought if I could learn the basic skills, then I would be able to try and make low fat ones. Versions. But I'm just going to learn off Chef Yin, because I'm not spending $1,300.
That's pretty expensive. And I mean, I don't want, again, I'm not trying to throw shade in anything. I think everything can have its time and place. And, you know, like I've had a slice of high fat, you know, gourmet cake before for sure, but I would rather have a whole pie to myself. You know, I'd way rather have a whole pie.
Yeah, same here. I would rather have Chef Yin's low fat pies where I'm not going to wake up in the morning feeling foggy in the head.
Who needs a nut hangover?
Yeah. Oh, that when you've had that high fat and you wake up and you're really thirsty and you're like thinking, why am I thirsty? Why am I thirsty? Oh, that's right, that raw cake. Yeah.
Yeah, ate a pound of cashews last night with a bunch of dates. I'm feeling a little bit sick today.
Yeah, I mean, we've all done it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. One of the worst raw food belly aches I ever had, I went to a raw food potluck. And at that time, I mean, I was very used to just like high water content foods and stuff like that. And the potluck was a lot of heavy stuff. And about halfway through the potluck, when I'd already eaten a lot of savory, heavy stuff that was way heavier than I was used to and way more variety than I was used to, someone brought in like a raw cake, but it was really lots of fat and lots of sweet fruit all mixed together. And I was like, I'm having some. So I had it. And then afterwards, I felt emotional and I felt like I didn't feel satiated. And I ended up eating like handfuls of cashews on top of all that again. I woke up in the middle of the night, like rolling in bed, like hunched over, like I felt like knives in my stomach. It was really crazy. And but yeah, that was probably one of the most intense kind of raw food stomach issues I've ever felt.
You know, that's amazing you say that, because I was reading something the other day and this guy said about when you have sugar, like high sugar food, like fruit or whatever, your body will switch off. You'll start to gag, like, I can't have any more. You know, that's it. I'm done. But when you eat fat, you don't actually have that switch.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's funny. I'd never really taken any thought of it. And this was only about a week ago. I read this. I read it on social media. As you do, you're reading things. And I thought, that is so true.
Yeah.
I thought, that is so true, because when you're satiated from sugar, and obviously we're getting sugar from fruit,
yeah,
you don't have cravings, and that's why it's important to eat enough fruit. You don't get those cravings. You're not needing to eat anything else. And I know this because any time that I have reverted back into cooked food, it has been because I'm not getting enough fruit in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I read that, I was like, yeah, because I mean, I've openly come out on social media that I have been eating some cooked food, and
you've come out.
I know it's
oh
a
my
big
God.
come out thing, but you know, it's funny when I read that, I thought, you know what? That's probably why I was craving other food, because I haven't been eating like enough fruit. And, you know, and it's just that switch thing. So, yeah. And just when you were saying that about the cashew nuts and things like that, you know, you don't have that off switch when you actually do it. So, yeah.
It's so amazing. And that's exactly why people have an easy time maintaining a healthy body weight with fruit, is because, you know, on a fruit-based diet, because you feel so satiated and it gives you such clear signals because it's fast interacting with your whole physiology that all of a sudden you're like, I'm good. And that's why some people have a hard time getting enough, because it's like they feel more satiated than they've ever felt before. Whereas, fat, I mean, it's not even absorbed into our bloodstream for like 4 or 5 hours after we eat it. So it's not really hitting those cues, right? And it's so, oh, it's just so interesting the way that works and how it just makes so much sense the more you look at it.
Makes so much sense. So much sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, something I'd love to add on there, just because it's on the top of my mind with what we're talking about, is because I think a lot of times people say like, oh, like I don't see how you eat so much fruit. When I eat fruit, I eat 1 or 2 pieces and it just feels too sweet. And something I've really found out to be true is when someone is eating a high fat diet, it essentially clogs up their insulin receptors so that they feel satiated too fast because their body isn't able to accompany that larger amount of fruit to make up the calories. So like if essentially, like if you're feeling like sweet just isn't my friend, I can only have 1 or 2 pieces of fruit, progressively lower the fat in your diet to the point where all of a sudden your insulin function gets sharp, and then you'll enjoy more fruit, and it just makes it so much better when you can enjoy lots of fruit.
Oh, so much better. So much better. That's the one thing. I'm so happy to be back in Vietnam, because seriously, they do have the best fruit in the world. And I'm just like, oh, I can really start loving fruit again. So, yeah, because I've really become a bit of a fruit snob, and it's really bad when you live in these countries. No, it is. It's so true, because I've often heard people say that, and I'm like, and then like all of a sudden, like when you're like in countries that don't have the levels of fruit that you get in tropical countries, it's just like, yeah, the fruit's crap, you know. So yeah, it's really hard coming off like when you've been having top quality fruit.
Yeah,
And
can be for sure.
yeah,
I
definitely.
find like an example for me, I remember a couple of years I've been living in LA, but there was one summer where specifically I was there the entire fig season and every single day eating the best perfectly ripe figs direct from the tree as meals, at least 1 to 2 meals a day. I've probably only, and that was like a decade ago. I've honestly
Yeah.
probably only had a handful of fig meals since then, because usually they're like, really expensive and really like not that good quality comparatively. So I'm just like, I'm fine until I find really, really good ones, but um,
You can't get them in Europe.
you can, but I mean, they're usually like, and it's kind of funny because like, usually let's say they're like 4 times the price per pound as bananas. And I might have a couple, but I don't like them 4 times as much as bananas. Like
Yeah,
realistically, I'm like,
get it.
I'd just rather have the bananas and have a couple figs here and there. And then when I'm in a place that I can get lots of figs for a good deal, I'm going to go crazy. And that doesn't mean to say, and I need to clarify too, that doesn't mean to say that if I looked at those figs and I was like, I want figs, I would buy the heck out of them. But if I'm looking at them like, they look okay, but like I can get this that I enjoy just as much for like a quarter of the price, I'm going to go for that instead.
Yeah.
All has its season and time, but I totally get what you mean there. And it's I want to come out to Vietnam, and I think it'd be really fun sometime if yourself, myself, and Chef Yin had a raw food potluck. You could make the walnut meat. I could make a pizza, and Chef Yin could make. I want to try her chicken pot pie, and maybe some tarts.
Yeah. Oh, and as you said, the fruit's good in Malaysia. Yes, it is. Anywhere in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, all good fruit, beautiful fruit.
I've been pretty lucky, I tell you, like, because I've traveled the world and I enjoy the fruit selection here better than anywhere in the world I've been, or at least in the top 5. But very for sure, I've been places that had better quality tropical. But this is like, for here, it's like a wider variety, but a little lower quality for all of them. And I'm really enjoying that variety.
I'd love to go to Sweden because my father's ancestors are from Sweden, so it's on. Yeah, well, Tornquist, it's a Swedish name.
Yeah.
It's definitely on the list to get there one day.
Yeah. Now you could probably look for a citizenship with your father's heritage here.
Possibly, possibly, but it was my great grandfather that came. So I don't know.
I'm not sure how far.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how far back.
He was he snuck into Australia back in the days where anyone went anywhere. So
yeah, that's something I'm looking into. My ancestor is actually from Czech Republic, so. But I don't know how far back that goes. But yeah, interesting stuff. Anyhow, so what's in season right now in Vietnam? What's really popping for you?
Well, it's actually a little bit slow here, which is strange because usually February, March is quite good because it's just after Tet. Tet's there like Chinese New Year, but they call it Tet. But watermelon always. You can always get watermelon all year round here. You can always get papaya all year round here. I've just missed the rambutans and the lychees, which I'm a little bit sad about, but that's okay. Because lychees are my ultimate favorite fruit. In Asia, in Southeast Asia, because they're like about this big and they just like pop in your mouth and they're beautiful. And mangoes are in season. Jackfruit, I bought some jackfruit today because I'm making jackfruit tacos tomorrow on Chef AJ's.
Nice. That's gonna be awesome.
And as I was ripping it apart, I was eating it. I'm like, stop eating it.
Yeah.
But it's really cheap here, jackfruit. I can buy jackfruit for $1 a kilo, already cut and peeled. And
wow, like $1 a kilo just for the jackfruit itself.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, so jackfruit's really cheap here. Mangoes I bought really cheap today. I bought them for about $1.20 a kilo, which is great. Watermelon, you can 80 cents a kilo.
Yeah.
And papayas you can always get for about 60 or 70 cents a kilo. Dragon fruit, I like dragon fruit. I kind of just eat it because I feel it looks pretty on a plate. It's not my favorite fruit. I think it's really overrated. But dragon fruit's here. I know people going, oh, I wish I could get dragon fruit. But I guess dragon fruit to me is like a bit of an apple when you're in Australia or Western countries. It's like, yeah, it's just a dragon fruit because they're available all year round.
And when I was in Bali, dragon fruit became one of my favorites because before that, I'd really just had like water, like lemon water tasting dragon fruit. And then when I was in Bali, it was like super sweet. And I got to say, I like the leopard spotted poops. You know, you eat a lot of dragon fruit and that's what you get.
Yeah, or if you eat a lot of that red one and you're not ready for it, you're looking, what's happening? What's wrong with me? What's wrong? Yeah. Am I dying? Oh no, that's right. I had red dragon fruit.
I'd guess the same as with the beetroot hummus if you eat a lot of that.
Yes, or too much watermelon will do it as well.
Yes, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Oh, it sounds like I need to come out to Vietnam sometime. Is it expensive to rent places or to Airbnb out there, you think?
Well, let's put it this way. The place I'm staying in at the moment is a 2-bedroom apartment. I'm overlooking the beachfront and a lake. So I've got the beach to the right of me, the lake to the left. Mm-hmm. Got a big living area and a kitchen. And I'm paying about $110 a week.
Wow, that's good. Now, I know this is totally off topic and you don't have to answer, but like, are you like resident there or are you just staying or how, like, or you can just stay a certain number of months per year?
I'm not a resident. It's very hard to get residency and citizenship. You cannot get citizenship in Vietnam. No. But I'm here on a work visa.
Okay.
So I come in that way. But at the moment, it's quite hard to get. When I say it's quite hard to get in, that you can come in on a 30-day visa. However, pre-COVID, Americans could straight up get a 1-year tourist visa.
Wow.
Yeah, only Americans. That was like, it's a joint thing. Vietnamese can get a 1 year in America and Americans can get it in Vietnam. But it's off the table at the moment. But I think things will change. They only opened on the 15th of March. So I think things will slowly start to come back to normal. I think they're just thinking, I don't want foreigners here in case there's a shutdown again or whatever. You know, probably. Yeah. I'm only guessing. I've really got no idea of their politics.
Yeah. Hard to know anything for sure right now.
Exactly.
There's so much murkiness in the air.
Exactly. But, you know, I'm sure it'll be brought back in, and then it becomes very easy for Americans to live here.
Cool.
And a lot of Americans actually do come and live here.
Yeah, I'll have to check. I mean, I'm actually a Canadian, but I have Swedish residence, so I don't know if I'd be looking through Sweden or if I'd be looking because my passport's Canadian. If I'd be looking probably with my Canadian passport, I guess, but I guess that's.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think they've got that for Canadians. So. You know, Americans, they get all these privileges.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We all got some. We all got some. We just got to figure out what they are. Focus on those.
Absolutely. But, look, in normal times, it's never that easy. Nothing's hard in Asia. And the great thing about Asia is when it's open and functioning, because everything's so close together, you can sort of hop over the border and come back.
Yeah, that's what we did in Costa Rica a bunch. And last off-topic question before we get back to this other fun. Do you see skateboarders out there? Is there any skateboarding going on there or surfing?
I don't know.
No, you never seen any?
I've never seen a skate park. However, when I was in Thailand, in Chiang Mai, there was a lot of skateboarders there. They used to go out the front of the mall and they would do all jumps and you know all your skateboard stuff you do on the chairs and steps and all those kind of things. We used to watch them a fair bit late at night. And during here, possibly in Ho Chi Minh, I haven't seen it here in Vung Tau, but I'm in a smaller city. So it's a little bit different, but look, Ho Chi Minh possibly because they try and be very hip, you know. Yeah,
cool. Yin is saying she loves the off-topic questions, and so does Watermelon Lime, and she also asked why I'm in Sweden. I met my girlfriend in Bali. She's Swedish, and so now I'm a Swedish resident because I'm with my sweetie Milla. So, Wow. So it's been definitely a pleasure chatting with you today, Jade, and really, really appreciate you and everything you bring, and not only to the movement, but to the bundle as well. And I'd love to ask, is there anything else you want to share with, just on this topic of, cravings and comfort food, stuff like that?
Just to answer Chef Jens, do I speak Vietnamese? I know the money. I know how to ask how much something is. I can pick up a few words
Couple
here
things.
and there. It's a very hard language. If I lived in Malaysia, I would pick up your language a lot easier because it's similar to Indonesian, and I was married to an Indonesian man. So I do, and I know it's an easier language. Vietnamese is a tone language similar to Chinese, and it's hard. And even whatever I do learn, they never understand me anyway. So,
That's so tough when it's tone related, because like, you can say something and you think you're really close, and they're just like looking at you so confused, and it's like,
I know.
Like I was just off by this, and they're like, I have no idea what you're saying. You're like, oh, that.
They look at you in Vietnam. They shake their hands like this. I call it the Vietnamese no. And like I'll be trying to say something in Vietnamese, and they go, and I'll say it again. Then I'll write it down, and they go, and they say the word. I'm like, that's what I said. Like,
yeah. I've done that in Swedish and in Spanish a lot, but I'm gonna start doing this all the time, because it just seems fun. I just want to do that.
Oh, okay. What do I want to add? Look, the only thing I want to add is if you're interested in eating raw, wanting comfort foods, wanting to learn more about the raw vegan movement, being able to be a raw vegan, and remember, you don't have to be 100% raw to enjoy raw foods. And that's just so vital that people know that, because people think, you know what? Oh, I'm not going to get the bundle because I'm not ready to eat raw food. But you don't have to eat raw food 3 meals a day. You can just like eat it 4 or 5 times a week, or whatever you want to do. So, but the more raw food that you put into your diet, I assure you, the better you're going to feel. So it's really a great toolbox. And I really believe this particular bundle over the other two is a stronger toolbox because of the courses. There's actual courses in there, so you can actually go along with your instructor and really learn and really understand this lifestyle. And look, I will never, ever for 1 minute say that becoming a raw vegan is an easy quest. It's an absolute journey. And the more you can learn, the more you'll grow, and the more you understand this lifestyle.
I couldn't agree more. No, that's 100%. And I just want to strengthen that. We're not a cult that's saying, join us, you have to be 100% raw. It's like, we're just encouraging more and more, and let that funnel where it will. I always believe the more raw food you put into your life, the more you're going to feel like, probably including more, because you just feel so amazing. But it just starts with one extra bite.
Nothing ever compares to being 100% raw, and I'm the first to say that. But not everyone's always there. So just get as much raw food into you as you possibly can. And it's great because you can learn how to make things. And as we said, enjoying the comfort foods too really help you tiptoe into the lifestyle.
Absolutely. I remember Doug Graham once said, everyone's a raw foodist. Some people just eat some cooked food. And I think I think it's true, and it's funny. And I think it's a beautiful thing just to include more in what we're doing here, coming together, sharing the stuff that lights us up, and the recipes and the tips and tricks. And like you said, the courses, they're really amazing. There's entire like how to go raw, like beginner get your running start courses and stuff like that. So just again, everyone, go over to Jadey Raw and give her some love and grab the bundle through her link in her profile, or if you wish to, you can do it online as well. But it's definitely a pleasure, Jade. And I'm so happy to see you back home and enjoying. And like I said, I hope that we get to enjoy in 3D some good, sweet tropical fruit and a nice potluck sometime. It'll be awesome.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Chris. Thanks for having me on your channel. I'm going to have you back on my channel after this bundle's done, because I'm hopeless at going live by myself, but I love connecting with people. So that's going to be my key to getting my face out there a little bit more.
It's always fun to chat. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I mean, if I'm just by myself, I got to have something going off or some Q&A or something, right? But when you're actually talking, like I've been in some lives where I forget I'm live. I'm just having a conversation, right? And that's always fun.
Yeah, and it's fun. And you know what? People enjoy it and they get to know you more and get to know your personality. And you're always a pleasure anyway. You're so bubbly. So
sometimes I'm really somber and angry the whole time.
Well, I hope you're going to be somber and angry when you're on my channel.
I'll try my best. I'll try and take you up on that. We'll see.
All right. And hello, Illinois.
Hello, Illinois. Okay. From Sweden and from Vietnam.
Vietnam. But we're not born in those countries.
No. Well, much love, Jade.
Thank you.
Have an awesome day and have a great time on Chef AJ. So everyone's going to want to check that out. You got some jackfruit tacos, right? On Chef AJ, and that will be then, if it's 5 a.m. your time, was it like 2 o'clock?
3 p.m.
Awesome. Oh, they're laughing somber, Chris Kendall. It happens. I'm going to be putting out a reel later today that you guys are going to be shocked by how sad I am in the reel. I caught a moment. But I'll see you again, Jade. Have a good one. Thanks again.
Yeah, bye-bye. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Check out the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. It's only here till April 11th. Ooh, don't forget to check out my raw recipes playlist in the top left, the video just for you in the top right, subscribe for more videos in the bottom right, and get your 3 free ebooks in the bottom left. Grab your free raw recipe app, available on iPhone and Android, with over 100 free raw recipes, common fruit and vegetable calorie breakdown, frickin' raw, some food combining chart, shopping cart function, and so much more.